Hello and welcome back to the 2020 Idlewild Open. We have second round front nine coverage here. Stop 6 of 10 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. This coverage is presented by the PDGA and by the JomezPro Founders Club. Thank you so much for your dedication. We got Big Barry commentary, myself, joined by Paul Ulibarri.
And we also have Eagle McMahon joining us today.
You certainly do. You can see part of his face right there. You know it's him. And there's Paul McBeth, both with very clean starting rounds as Eagle going 13 down through 17 with a double bogey on the last hole. Hopefully he can start off hot like he did in round one here. And we've got Patrick Brown. And look at that, yours truly on the card here. At Idlewild, a very heavily wooded course in general, but not the first hole. We've got a big bomber to start off. Par 4. Easiest hole in the course, actually the second easiest hole in the course, but this one you have to get your birdie. A big tee shot swinging from the left to right down here, down this hill. This is reachable as much as this slope goes down. Players like Eagle, McBeth are going to be down here probably with good tee shots looking for the big Eagle putt.
You are not no slouch yourself when it comes to big distance though, Jerm.
Good luck, guys.
Eagle is going to be going with the brand new Cloudbreaker. Is the Cloudbreaker 3 now? Is that what they're on?
Yeah, I
think
believe
they're on
that's
the
right.
Cloudbreaker 3. This one's a really pretty purple and blue dyed one. Or not dyed, but swirly. And this is absolutely blistered.
Wow. Yeah, if it misses those limbs right there, a little too much turn, goes way deep.
638 feet, just as a reminder. I'm pretty sure that's a quarter mile.
Up next out of Huntington Beach, California, representing Foundation Disc Golf, Team Disc Draft, Paul McBeth.
And Paul's going to want to match that line, just get something with a bit more fade at the end if he can.
Yeah, I have to believe that they're both trying to get the Eagle. Obviously, you could see Eagle go way deep, so he was definitely going with the aggressive line. This is nice as long as it comes back, but that's going to have too much turn.
Yep. But still, biting up that much distance and missing all those early limbs, that's just going to leave a short pitch up from there. Great tee shot.
And I actually like this one being kind of
representing Team Legacy, Patrick Brown.
pushed to the left there so that the mistake is to miss right. And so if you do get the distance, then you have that guardian tree kind of guarding that Eagle putt. So hats off to the design crew with that.
I love it when a course gives you a hole like this where you can start off. I think of the Glassbone Open. I think of Maple Hill. Obviously, this hole comes into play where you can just get a big tee shot off.
All right. Patrick Brown placing one absolutely perfectly right in the middle. I'm excited to see him play. It's been a while since he's been on the coverage, but
yeah, he mentioned that. He said it's been a while since he's had a filmed round. And this is my medium stable Star Destroyer that I just overturned, and really the mistake is the miss right. That's just too much right.
But you're right, the mistake is the miss right, and then you're going to have this sidearm that's kind of, you got a good lie, actually.
Yeah, a favorable result. That could have been pretty deep there. And that, I measured that with my Bushnell rangefinder to 295 feet, and that's farther than I can throw an AVRX3. And my AVRX3 just went 30 feet long, so that kind of surprised me.
I haven't played with Patrick Brown a lot, and I haven't seen him on a lot of coverage, but I don't remember him throwing a lot of sidearms, and that displayed a lot of touch right there. That was a good second shot. He's going to have our easy birdie.
And Eagle from a somewhat awkward stance. He's going to pitch up for his easy birdie. And Paul with that low ceiling, just avoiding the limbs, giving him a short putt.
That's a good start for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice to have that 25-footer kind of get it off your chest. You know?
I agree.
definitely alleviates a lot of the stress and tension that the round.
Yeah,
is
if you
giving.
find yourself just having to lay up, or maybe you throw a great drive for the first couple holes, it can be an hour or so in between your last practice putt. And sometimes when that's just not warmed up, it can be a little bit scary when you get to the fourth or fifth hole if you haven't had a true tester yet. But we're going to have a star frame on hole 1, and that is a star frame. It's going to give $25 to Edge, a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization dedicated to reaching and teaching the next generation of disc golfers. Obviously an awesome program. As we move on to hole 2, par 4, 601 feet. One of the harder holes in the course. You have to avoid that one guardian tree in the middle. Left side is okay, but you prefer to be as far right as possible to open up your gap to approach this very difficult green here as it slopes from right to left down to the water.
Yeah, this has become one of my favorite holes on the course. I think it's a great combination of left to right to left with out of bounds. With that out of bounds pond to the left really adds a kind of a unique hole to the course.
Sure. Eagle obviously connecting on the one guardian tree and kicking right. That is a bad place to be. Paul turning it over out to the right. That's a pretty good spot. I'm sure he'd probably like to have another 40 to 50 feet of distance there. He's going to have a little bit of the uphill to contend with on the approach. You know, last time I was here in 2017, the basket was about 100 feet shorter, and really there wasn't a lot of emphasis on a great tee shot. Now you have to throw a really solid tee shot to get a look at birdie on this one. And speaking of great tee shots, Patrick Brown has just displayed as good as you can really throw it on this one.
That was a beautiful shot. I just looked at some of his stats, and he has just got to 101 wins in his career. So he has a lot of experience.
Really?
Yeah, he
Congratulations.
has
That's
a lot of experience, and I can't wait to see that on display today.
And that split the Y gap.
And that's going to give you a great angle for a second shot into that green, especially with you favoring the sidearm.
Eagle going right back to that cloud breaker, going with a standstill. And this is a long carry to get across the water from this angle. But when you've got an engine like that, you can just rev it up and standstill flick 400 feet on hyzer.
He's going to be left with a questionable putt, though.
Yeah, most likely a layup from that spot. If you're right at the pin, it's so difficult to talk yourself into giving a good run for birdie. Paul's in a good spot to run a putt from outside the circle.
Yeah, that's the spot where he cannot lay that up. And so he's going to have to test the nerves on hole 2 right here with his first putt.
And that was my AVR X3. You're going to see a lot of that disc today. That just didn't quite hold the angle enough. And Patrick says right out of his hand, oh, that's gone. And he is right. That skips into the water just inside the circle. Can you tell by my facial expressions how difficult that was for me to lay up? I do not like laying up putts when I can see the basket, but Eagles got to do the same thing.
And laying up is the last thing on McBeth's mind right here.
Yeah, I would say cash money is the first thing on his mind. Big putt from Paul. And if hitting a 27-footer on the first hole is good, hitting a 50-footer on the second hole, that's even better. Paul McBeth with a good start. A couple of birdies. Patrick Brown to save his par.
Yeah, I moved. I fell, but
You're inside the circle? I couldn't tell you're inside the circle.
I don't know where I'm at. There's no circle here.
It's behind. Yeah, it's behind you. If you fell forward, then it's football.
So, putt it again?
No, the putt counts. It's just a
As long as
Nobody
it's
called me
it
on the
has to- It has to
football.
be seconded.
I can't call myself. Nobody seconded.
You can second. I couldn't see because I was right behind the tree, to be honest.
So nobody called it. So it's actually. I mean, I stepped to the side, but I didn't know I actually went forward on
If
my
you
angle. I
step
started from here.
From my angle, I can't see you step forward. But if you said you step
Okay.
forward, then your word.
Well, I'm asking. So I can't call myself. It's in the rules.
Did you call it?
No one called it.
Nobody called
I
it.
didn't see it.
It was kind of to the side. I just asked if I was going
I
forward.
officially saw that you said
Casually snags his disc really nicely there,
That
too.
was a
Here, let me
yeah. That was
While carrying a conversation, and he just hit a 35-footer. Well, actually,
well. No, it wasn't.
okay,
It was
never
not
mind.
35 feet.
It was to
That's the
side. I
problem.
start with my left foot back like this.
Yeah. and-
I just didn't
Interesting
know if
kind
I
of
actually
situation
went
we
in
have
front.
here.
So yeah,
All right.
I was on the top of the hillside. I couldn't quite see his feet, but from that replay angle, it did look like he stepped to the side, maybe a bit in front of his live. But either way, it wasn't called. And in that situation, you just have to move on. And
Yeah.
here we are, moving on. Hole 3, par 3, 407 feet. That low ceiling tunnel off the tee, and then you have to clear this hillside. Coming down to the green, you have this snake OB line that is totally blind from the player's perspective off the tee. The best play is to just drive it across that creek if you can.
Yeah, he's going to want to start this off with a little bit of hyzer matching the slope and then turn, and that's not... He's going to have to get lucky.
Yeah, this is drifting right. Does it have the height to clear the... Actually, does not get close to the creek. Not a bad place to miss.
Yeah, that's a good break. I mean, he definitely missed the line.
And really, it's the green is a green light no matter where you are. With that slope
Right.
behind the pin, you can run a very aggressive putt on this hole no matter where you are. I suppose if you drive it 30 feet long, maybe not so aggressive, but it's a pretty tough thing to do off the tee. I'm going to hazard a guess that this is Eagles PD. That comes up short of the out of bounds creek.
Another good break.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if Patrick can manage to hit the angle right on this.
This hole really suits Patrick Brown's line. He really likes to stand up and late turn drivers like this. And look at this. This is so nice. You just got to get over the creek. It skips out of the creek. Safe 24 feet
I
away.
like that because that was such a good angle
Yeah.
and good speed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's safe. That deserves a birdie.
This is my understable Star Wraith. And I really liked it until I saw it hit that little limb there. And this is the part I want to see. Oh, no. And that's the bad roll that you don't want to see. The spotter giving me the red flag and bit of a tough break. Eagle from about 45. Well, let's call it 50.
A little bit surprising, but I mean, we all airball from time to time.
He has been on the basket from all range lately, so
Yeah.
to see him airball one right, that's a little bit uncharacteristic. Not Paul. He's not airballing.
Yeah, the thing about that putt was he sped it up,
Yeah.
and he knocks the branches down.
That poor tree. That was such a good putt. And you can tell that really had no effect on the result whatsoever. He's just putted right through that limb.
There's a good putt. And a good jump.
Thank you. Well, the jump was a lot easier 7 or 8 years ago, 45 to 50 pounds ago. And Patrick moving up for the short birdie putt with that great drive. He is in. And that's a good start for Patrick as he's a couple down. Always looking good on the disc golf course.
Yeah, and he looks great. I
He
mean,
always
he
looks
plays in
great.
the Grand Masters division, I believe.
Yeah, he's in his 50s, folks. Can you believe that for a second? It was just It blows me away every time I see him. I mean, age is just a number. Patrick Brown has taken care of himself his whole life, and he does not look a day over 40. Moving on to hole 4, par 3, 432 feet. One of the scarier par 3s you come across is this huge right to left slope taking you down to the water. We had a lot of people commenting on Paige Pierce down here in the water. I didn't notice that in the first round, but there she is. The play is going to be that straight fairway driver and maybe a big flex. Eagle might even go with a forehand. He's got the distance for it.
And I keep commenting about the angle control at this course, but with the hillsides, that is probably the most important factor at this place, especially with the way that the trees are and the fairways align.
Yeah, it's all about trying to make, I mean, a hole like this, you don't have trees to contend with really, but you have to find a way to make the gaps as big as possible, and controlling that angle early, understable, overstable, force over, flip up, that kind of stuff is so important on a course like this.
Especially the way he landed it right there. He landed it really soft. Now you got to think that's coming directly straight back towards the out of bounds. So if you don't match that angle perfectly to the slope, you're definitely skipping out of bounds.
Paul making the same mistake 2 rounds in a row. Wonder if he'll get that drive just a bit higher third time around. And Eagle will be lining up that forehand.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Nuh-uh.
Here it is. And Eagle's just reminding himself to commit as that finishes about 55, maybe 60 feet up the hill. Pretty close to pin high, which is pretty impressive for that forehand.
Yeah, I mean, that was basically a straight spike-hyzer. You take this one way out over the water and let it flex back. That takes a lot of commitment, and that's a good shot.
Yeah, I'd like to have that about 10 feet higher to get the little bit of stable finish at the end. And Paul asking this one to slow down, and just at the last moment, it puts the brakes on, and Paul stays in bounds.
That was the funniest putt I've
I
ever
know.
seen from Eagle.
Eagle looked at me and just shook his head and smiled and laughed. And I gotta admit, Paul, I got baited in. I got baited in. I want a slow mez, but I don't get one.
You could re-putt it from there.
I definitely could. But there's just no way to run that putt and not go out of bounds if you miss the chains.
I love the confidence, though. You were there. You putted it. Good height.
The height was actually great, and I thought that the speed was slow enough that it might hyzer in at the end, but just not catching any chains.
Just a bit outside.
You know, and I factored in at that moment. I was thinking, if I make this, obviously it's a great 2.
I'm going to be the world
But
champion.
if I lay up, I feel like it's only a 1-stroke penalty for going for it.
Right.
And so I felt like it was a risk worth taking at that moment.
Do you want it back?
I do.
Thank you for being a patron.
Golly. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Thank you for being the Patreon.
We really appreciate it.
Yes, that is awesome. You're awesome. Hole 5, par 4, 555 feet. A really fun hole. Sets up great for the backhand roller. Also a big high lefty spike hyzer or righty forehand. Trying to get somewhere near this big tree right here. The most important thing is stay right. As long as you get down to the wood line, the right side is the place to be. Anything left or too far straight, and you're going to be in a lot of danger. Paul not liking it, thinking maybe he's going too far straight, but look at that right at the end, catching the edge of the roller and spinning out to the right side. That's exactly where you want to be, but that was a bit scary.
Yeah, he definitely used all of the fairway.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a pretty good angle.
Yeah, I like this one. And
A bit safer.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets in front of those little guardian trees that you see a lot of the rollers kind of end up right behind there. He's
They
right
really
in front of
do.
them. Yep.
So many rollers come up just behind those 4 guardian trees, and Patrick's going to really like that result being on the other side of those.
I feel like Eagle could just rocket ship a sidearm all the way there.
I know. I'm kind of surprised to see the roller, even though he's such a good roller thrower. And I don't want to say a bad break, but you'd like to be on the other side of that big tree there. I found this star sidewinder last week in Grand Rapids in the used bin, and I love it, except for that was way too far straight.
Whoa. Yeah, that's...
And I don't know how this happens. I have a red flag right now. They've shown me red flag. So I'm walking down this fairway. Guess what? Green flag.
I would have given you a red flag.
I would have too. And now I'm left with this really tricky left side approach, which is so many trees. And I got a little kick.
Wow.
And 2 awful shots, and now I'm putting for birdie.
Okay. Hey. On a course like this, you got to take the breaks when you get them.
100%. It's going to come and play at some point, no matter who you are, no matter how well you're playing. If you can take a good break and run with it, it's going to be a huge...
An Eagle just...
Oh,
Oh
and
my
that was a great break. I thought he had too much steam coming in. I did not see that he kicked back inbounds. Okay, so there's a good break.
Mm.
And Patrick Brown hitting the wall in the air and landing pretty close to where Eagle is.
So basically, Paul could do anything, and it's going to make the island.
Yeah, according to the way this card's going right now, yeah, just close your eyes. And Paul wasn't 100% convinced he even cleared the wall, but
Everybody did, so...
everyone did. I mean,
Let's see if you can take advantage of the nice break.
I really thought that was in, and I was smiling because I was about to get away with the dirtiest birdie of all time, and I would have loved it.
Still a good par. I mean...
It could have been a
that-
lot
yeah,
worse.
From that spot, you could have been out of bounds and
Ew, Patrick.
get in there.
And that little tree seemed to be playing tricks on Patrick there. Eagle with a similar putt. And that you don't see very often, folks.
Do you think that tree was kind of in the line and maybe he just didn't straddle out to the left? Or to the right, I mean?
I was hoping to see it on this angle and try to learn something that I didn't understand
Right, because
at the round.
the
but
way that he looked at it afterwards, like he had to look around the tree. I don't know. Maybe. Either way, it's a putt he needs to make, and he doesn't make it, but just curious.
Oh, Paul's showing the crew and myself the biggest mushrooms in the world. They're the size of soccer balls over there on the green. Pretty cool. You should check it out tomorrow. Hole 6, par 3, 437 feet. Par 3, blind, a really tight shot that you have to swing early with a backhand anhyzer or go with the roller. And as wide as this fairway is off the gap, which it actually is pretty tight, the hole is actually even tighter because this early tree, you really have to keep it close to it, and look at that. Paul just a fraction off, and he's getting the full punishment with a huge kick left.
That's not a fraction off. That was a lot of bit off.
All right, I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
that
He's
was
5-time champ.
Yeah,
That's as far off as you can get. I'm curious to see where that ends up. That's going to be a really tough scramble.
yeah. He's definitely going to pay the price.
Eagle going with the roller again here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lining up the roller with the essence. They say moisture is the essence of wetness. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I don't know if that's what they say.
I think it's a Zoolander quote. And that's a good drive inside the circle.
Absolutely.
I'm just checking to make sure the basket's still there.
Right. You're like, okay, so it's still the same gap.
This hole hasn't changed. All right.
Why did McBeth do that?
Exactly. I'm going
So
back and
confused.
forth with the Star Wraith and the Sidewinder. I'm ending up going with the Star Wraith. A bit faster, a little bit more understable.
That looks great.
Be good.
Asking it to be good, and it is good. There you go. Right in front of Eagle.
Paul's pretty deep in the woods here. He's maybe 15 feet through the edge of this.
Wow. Yeah, I've never seen anybody not make it out of the gap. I guarantee he's never not made it out of the gap.
Yeah, sure. And it's not something he's thinking about.
No.
But that's a terrific out.
Whoa.
Yeah, to be able to get anything with full speed. And it's going to be 120 feet away. But if he has a look, he's going to be running at this.
Good height.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be a bogey for Paul. Patrick Brown laying up for his par.
Eagle makes the correction from the last hole. That one's on the stripe.
That's a good putt. Oops.
I was in the same spot.
Did the same thing.
Did the same thing.
Yeah. It's easy to do, apparently.
I thought it was really hard to do.
Yeah. I hate to see it. This is a course where the front nine is the scoring nine. And at this point in the round, even through 6, things just aren't quite going the way I'd like them go. Patrick Brown 3 down. McBeth 3 down. And even Eagle with a couple of missed putts.
Yeah.
He's still 2 under. That's kind of the score you want to be on this stretch right now. Because right here we're getting into hole 7. And things can start getting dicey when you get on a hole like this. This has double bogey written all over it. Any out of bounds shot goes to a very tough drop zone. Par 4, 484 feet. But as you can see, as the drone flies, very tight, very specific landing zone. Any errant shot is going to get penalized greatly. Eagle's going with his FD3. And just gets this great skip. It was a good shot either way. But with that root, anything could have happened. And what happened was a nice advance up further the fairway. Farther up the fairway.
Goodness, I was going to be so high up there.
Patrick looks like he gets a really nice kick forward, and it actually keeps him safe. I don't think he was trying to push the ceiling like that.
Mm-hmm.
You just throw this perfectly.
It's the Star Thunderbird. A little bit too long, so it's going to be a stretch out Anheuser. Like I said, it's very specific. And it's one of the shots
Come on.
Yeah, it's a good tee shot. It's a good tee shot.
Paul with the Luna.
And this is really nice as well, keeping that low. It's a little bit of a...
I don't know, maybe
skip.
a little bit right.
Okay. All right, buddy.
Here's... misses that one, and he's all the way home free.
Paul, I believe he's going with his buzz. It's such a technically difficult shot to throw. I'm so impressed when you can stand still uphill and throw it with that much balance and grace to just make it look like you're standing on a flat ground. It's one of Paul McBeth's best attributes, I feel like. This is so bad.
You gave up on that one
I
early.
did, and it deserved to be given up on. That is one of the shots I feel like I'm really good at, and I did not give it a good effort at all. An eagle with a nice line, just keeping it low, skipping it right up to the hole. I don't think that hole could have been made to look any easier the way the eagle just played that.
No. I mean, he threw basically putter second shot
It's
into
crazy.
the ground, just
So good.
like he was, 100 feet. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Good.
Yeah, it's
Good
fine.
touch, yeah.
For sure, yeah, you're gonna get a 20-footer, 20-foot.
And Paul and Eagle both have very short birdie putts remaining. Paul's going to make
Couple birds, couple pars.
pretty decent score on hole 7. Like I said, anything can happen. This can be, if this hole gets away from you, it can be a disaster in a heartbeat. And we're moving to really, like, I would say the only quote-unquote easy stretch of the course, 8 and 9. I mean, the rest of the course, you got one kind of easy feeling hole and then a really tough one. Hole 8, par 5, easiest hole in the course because they call it a par 5. It is a sidearm Anheuser tee shot or a really tight backhand flip up, trying to land somewhere in these trees here. Anything past that is bonus. As we move up the fairway, once again, you're entering a very tight corridor. Disc needs to start out to the right, drift left through this gap, and hyzer down the hill. Very eagleable par 5, but one that feels really, really good to get.
Eagle going with this standstill approach on the tee pad here.
Once again, going with that PD. This is overturned, and I believe he's paying the price with an early kick. Paul has, this is so good looking. Missing all the trees, getting full flight, skipping out to the right side of the fairway, which actually opens up the hyzer forehand for the approach. That's probably as good as Paul's ever looking to throw this.
Yeah, anybody really. You want that kind of hyzer into the pin. Patrick with not the best kick, but this hole isn't very far, so from where he is, he will be able to get it into a scoring position from there.
Honestly, I don't want to throw with the airplane right over my head. And we're
Right.
basically next to an airport, so I just waited for the airplane to go over. And
It's a common spot, kind of right there in the middle. That's perfect, yeah.
Star Wraith into the middle as Patrick Brown. Look at this roller line that he's laying down here. Yeah. If this just stood up just a fraction more, that would have been right in the fairway. Now he's going to be off to the left. But from where he was, that was a really great effort.
Yeah, lots of creativity from that spot.
An eagle whacking early tree, kicking right.
I feel like this hole just sets up so nicely for you. Oh wow, you almost two'd it.
I would agree. This is a tweener par 5. It's like the hardest par 4 you'll ever play and one of the easiest par 5s. But with no OB really that comes into play, it's just at this distance, less than 600 feet, it is such a very specifically narrow shot you have to go through here. There's really no other way to get creative around it, as the Eagle just laces that approach.
Yeah, that looked great. He gives Paul a nice little visual help.
Yeah, sure. I mean, now he knows exactly what to do to avoid all the trees. They were in a similar place. Paul just a bit closer after his drive. And Paul's gone a little back door, but made it work as he is in the circle no more than 25 feet away.
And that was nifty as well.
Didn't quite work for Patrick the way he had drawn that up, and now he's got this. A lot of guardian trees.
Patrick went backhand roller, sidearm roller, air bounce.
Mm-hmm.
He's played disc golf before.
Yes.
Good putt. That is not an easy putt from down there.
Zach Melton told me I wouldn't do it. I had to do it. And Paul McBeth maintains his balance. Make sure the Eagle knows that he maintained his balance.
You see that? See, I maintained my balance.
Look how good I am.
Yeah.
And collects
Or
the
maybe
Eagle.
he was showing Patrick.
Oh, okay. All right. Little low-key burn. Little tiny.
Yep. See? Those are some nice eagles. A nice scramble, honestly, from Patrick. And great scramble from Eagle to get the birdie.
Hole 9, par 3, 258 feet. Par 3, this is one of the skinniest par 3s. The gap is pretty narrow right there off that pinch. Got to just clear this hill. A backhand turnover is a very common play. Also, forehand, mid-range, or maybe even a putter if you have one that you feel confident with.
I really like this hole because it's really the only hole, one of the only holes on the course where your speed control going downhill has nothing behind it to stop it. You know, a lot of these holes have a nice back, drop, or not backdrop, but something that's going to slow the disc down. Here you have to maintain that speed control in order to get your birdie. Otherwise, you just go flying way past.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of these baskets are somewhat like a bowl type green area. And this one, the exact opposite. Has to be very touchy.
And I feel like if there was a tournament with 18 of these holes.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm signing up early. It just really sets up so well for the speed of the AVR X3. My most comfortable approach disc ever. I just absolutely lean on that thing. Anything inside 280.
Eagle's going towards the heavens, it looks like.
Yeah, he is looking upwards, which I thought was crazy. And then he just grenades it, 180 feet high. Someone said, that's creative. He said, no, that's easy. I was like, okay. I thought that was creative.
I don't know how dialed he has that shot, but to me, that is not easy.
No.
To him, possibly. Well, no, it is. He said it was. I'll believe him. He has no reason to lie to me.
Are you talking to background.
Sorry. My bad.
And Patrick, maybe hearing some voices, get a little distracted, and early release. Paul, you should just know by now, do not talk while players are on the tee.
I know.
But that will be Patrick's first bogey of the tournament as he played round one clean. Paul, with his early kick left, he actually has a hole that he can see the basket, and he's giving it a run.
Wow.
And who knows, if it doesn't connect on that last hanging branch there, that could have drawn on some chains.
Yeah, it was a good effort from in there.
Oh, that's a good birdie putt for Eagle.
I like how still he keeps his head.
It's really
Eyes fixated on the target.
keeps his follow-through locked in. Such a clean putt with minimal extra added to the swing and the follow-through.
I feel
Very
like
easy to repeat.
I feel like my leg's going left, my arm's going right. One eye's this way, one eye's that way.
Somehow one of my ears is lower set than the others. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Dad, too. Jeez. Both responsible.
Yep.
And we got to give a shout-out before we wrap up this front nine to Macy Walker from the FPO field. Same tee box. Hole in one
Oh, let's go.
on hole 9. Very cool. Congratulations. As we're going to take a look at this leaderboard check-in after the first 9 here. We are halfway through the event, and Paul McBeth has tied Eagle at top. Andrew Marweed, Thomas Gilbert are right there behind, 3 strokes. And then there's a couple other people right there at 12, like 6 or 7
Right.
people. So it's very tight there at the top. Anything can happen. Any thoughts on the front 9, Paul?
I thought it went great. I'm excited for the back 9. I know you said that the front 9 is the scoring 9, but with the Eagle opportunities on the back 9, I'm expecting a lot of people to make a good push on the back and really tighten up this race.
Should be exciting to see. Thank you so much to the JomezPro Founders Club. We'll catch you for the back 9.
Yeah, absolutely.